Hello, beautiful people. It's Gwendolyn from your virtual admin expert, and welcome to Leading Behind the Scene, your weekly dose of inspiration to equip you to excel in business and life. Before we jump in, I want to share with you that enrollment is open for Mastering Your Success Mastermind. This is a mastermind for women CEOs who have been in business less than 5 years and you're looking for clarity around your next steps. You need some support with creating goals. You're looking for tools and strategies on how to systematically grow your business. And you want opportunities to brainstorm with a seasoned coach. This small group mastermind and incubator is for you. So I encourage you to go over to masteringyoursuccessmastermind.com and get your application in for consideration. So this month, we have been talking about building a business you love. And if you haven't noticed that, I have been talking to all my admin and operation bosses in the virtual space. And today I get to chat with my soul sister, Rachel.
Hey, everybody.
Yes. Rachel is the CEO of the Executive Ninja, an operations and virtual executive assistance agency where CEOs can outsource their essential responsibilities to a professional and focus on their ultimate revenue potential. With her love for systems and processes, she and her team are supporting other businesses by leveraging their time so that they can concentrate on their zone of genius while her team handles all the things required for the smooth and efficient operation of their business. Her ninjas will dot the I's, cross the T's, and assist your business as if they are right there in your office, kicking your to-dos into ta-das. Yes.
Yes.
So Rachel, we met because we're in the same mastermind group.
Yes.
And we just kind of like instantly
Click, click,
connected.
click, click,
I
click,
was like,
click.
I found my new BFF.
hmm Totally. I know. And I always like to believe like the people that I've crossed paths in my journey, whether that's like personal or business, they are meant to be there and either meant to be there for that season of life or maybe for the rest of my life, right? But either way, I appreciate like getting to know people and networking them and creating those friendships and that bond because it just makes the journey more enjoyable, right? Especially in entrepreneurship.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100% hands down. There is no way you can make it through this journey as an entrepreneur in a silo. It's just
Yeah.
not going to happen. Not going to happen. And
It gets
so
lonely.
I know, like my mom always says, nobody can be on their own little island. Like
Mhm.
you can't be like in your own island, in your own world, because it just doesn't work that way.
Totally.
And so I'm super glad to be talking about not just building a business, but building a business that you love with other virtual support professionals, as our coach calls them,
Yeah.
um, who work in the back end. Because I think a lot of times virtual support professionals think that they have to compete, like they can't be in partnership or be connected to others, in the same like industry or doing the same thing. And so I'm like super excited that I get to talk to all my girls in the admin space for like the
Mhm.
next month or so. So what are your thoughts about that?
So for me and what I've learned, like the very first year of my business, I've been in business for almost 5 years. March of this year is going to be my 5-year mark, and five is my lucky number. So for me, what I've learned early on is collaboration over competition, right? And when you first start your journey, and especially trying to get away from the employee mindset, because if you've
Yeah.
been ever in corporate, it's all about competition, the company against the next company, and the job going after that promotion. And so it was really hard getting away from that mindset. And I realized the more you get to know people in our industry, in our space, you see that collaboration over competition.
Yeah.
People can preach it all they want, but when people actually put it to action, that's when you can visually see like, oh, it is possible. I wish I had that partner. I wish I had that
Yes.
friendship, right? And funny enough, I always tell people too, my DOO right now, she's my BFF and we've never met. And so people are like always in awe that I have a best friend, like her, you, other people in the space where I've never met in person, hopefully when COVID is over, I can and hug you guys like crazy.
I know. I'm so mad that we won't be on our
I
retreat.
know.
Like that
Later
sucks.
this year, latest this year.
Yes. So
But yeah, I think we can totally collaborate. I don't think it always has to be a competition. I think it's just a matter of like the degree of it, right? So if
yeah.
someone is the receiving end is totally trying to compete with you and stealing all your stuff and copying you and your personality, okay, then it becomes like a weird competition and
It's
negativity and
like,
toxic space. Yeah, stay away from me. Um, but then I see so many people in our space, and it doesn't have to be even our virtual support pros, but even coaches and mentors, like
yeah.
they're collaborating all the time. And what I see out of that with when it comes to collaboration, they're making bank, right? They grow a bigger audience that they're actually attracting and making bank. I'm going to totally preach making bank. It's not a bad thing. And
At all.
at all. I think people who are thinking it's competition and very toxic about it, I think that I always say to people, both business and personal, that you are where you are because you have that negative mentality. You're not going anywhere, right? So that's my 2 cents about it. And I've collaborated with, like when I first started my business, I worked with other OBMs, other VAs. I actually worked for a VA agency, and I learned so much. And getting that hands-on experience has, I felt like, made me go full throttle in my business. Like this past year, I actually earned my 6-figure mark and in my business. And I don't think within a span of 5 years or less than 5 years, I would have done that at any other regular job. Right.
Nice.
So yeah, thank you. And yeah, definitely always collaboration over competition. And there's just so much to learn from each other.
Okay, so what led you to becoming an entrepreneur and CEO over all your ninjas? Because I know we both have a corporate background.
Yes.
So how did you get here? How did you end up being an entrepreneur with your own business?
Oh gosh. So I'm going to go a little woo and spiritual with you guys for a little bit. So ever since I was young, I knew I was made for more and do more. And everyone can say that, right? But there's just something about it that I could never explain. So, you know, you let just God lead you to that journey, and you're just going to know, like, work hard and hopefully you can be guided. You know, there's partially you can control, you know, and there's other things where it's out of your control. But I always think, like, oh, that wasn't the path I was supposed to take. He's kind of plucking me up and say, you're supposed to be in this lane, ma'am. But rewind a bit, I've always been in some sort of either customer service or admin work all my life. I've been either in retail, like in stores, and after that, after I finished high school, it was admin work from there. I was either I'm an office clerk at law firms. I became a legal assistant at one point, and administrative support for a much larger company that was where they had locations all over the globe. And I was even an EA to C-level employees, right? So, and that was always my passion. That was always what I was really good at. And I realized I was really good at it because I loved it. It filled my cup. It filled my soul, right? To be able to realize that I was so good at it, but also the fact that, you know, being able to even recognize for it that no one could do it better than me, right? In that environment. And so fast forward, my last corporate job, I was with them for 8 years and I loved it. It was probably my longest job. I've never, ever been at a job for more than a year or 2 years. So I was really surprised at myself that I stuck around for 8 years. And that was because one, there was good people, even though there was a lot of, you know, your typical corporate politics, what place doesn't, right? But it was ever changing and fast paced. And the fact that I was like an EA/administrator for their whole company at their head office, it always filled my cup that it was always ever changing and nothing was a dull day, right? So, and then I had been trying to have a little first baby miracle. It took us 6 years finally for that miracle to happen. So when it happened, I went back to work after my mat leave, and as much as I love work, I was like, no, I waited all my life for this miracle. Peace out, y'all. I love you, but I love them more, right? And so I put my 2 weeks notice in, and at first I didn't quite know what I was going to do. I didn't realize the VA world even existed until I read an article on Pinterest and realized what I was already currently doing, because I was doing freelance work for a lawyer back at a different like province. I'm in Canada. And I was doing it virtually. So I'm like, oh, I could actually become a contractor and do this multiple times. And so that's how it, my journey started. And I really dove deep into like the Facebook groups and really learning from other VAs actually how they made it work. And that's how I got started.
That's awesome. And I swear every time we talk, I feel like we find even more similarities amongst us, because like I wasn't gonna leave my corporate job either. Like it was super corporate, cushy, like I could do it with my eyes closed. I absolutely loved what I did. And like I never had a desire to do that. And then it was like God was like, yep, let me throw a wrench in that monkey wrench, because you have a different course to go. So what do you think was a crucial factor as you started to really grow your business? Because you've been in this for a while. Like, what do you think was a key factor in going from just like building a business to really building a business that you love? What was like that critical thing that you're like, okay, if I'm going to do this, it's got to be something I absolutely love?
So one, definitely after I got a taste of it, was like, I never want to go back to a 9 to 5. And being told what to do. I can follow rules, I can follow instructions, but there's a certain degree where it's like, no, I'm made to boss people around myself. And but I think what has made me like realize and growing my business is two things. One is mindset, and with a sprinkle of like faith and hope in there, and also the grit. And the reason why I find that that's my recipe in my growth, as I built it within such a short span of time, is that the first year of my business, I literally threw a pity party. I think after 3 months in, which we joke about this now, we had a conversation about it. 3 months in, I thought I was going to make bank and have a happy life and travel the world within 3 months after leaving my corporate job. Okay, like delusional much? But I was struggling to finding my first client, and the very least, even finding my ideal client. And I was about to give up. And I totally remember this. It was the week of my birthday that first year of my business, and my parents came to visit. And I was watching I think it was a Facebook Live, a business coach, and she was talking about mindset and mindset shifts. And what she was saying, it clicked and it made sense. So when I slowly start to like work on myself and make that mindset shift and the affirmations and believing and praying, within a month, I got my first ideal client. And then 3 weeks later, I got another client. And then another 2 weeks later, I got another client, to the point that my first year of business, I actually needed to find help to take on more clients. So, and then this too, and everyone who's an entrepreneur it's a roller coaster, up and down, or even what we had Nicole Miller Jackson actually tell us, spiraling up.
Spiraling up, which we found.
Yes.
Just as painful as spiraling down.
Yeah, growing pains is the grit. So as building a business that you love, yes, we love it, but at the end of the day, you have to remember it's still a business, it's still a job. So there are going to be a few things that will be a struggle and that you may not like doing, or, but ultimately you just have to have the grit to like put your big girl panties on and keep going at it. You fail, pick yourself back up and keep going, right? And I think with, and my opinion here, when COVID hit, everyone shifted to the virtual world, and we had a lot more virtual support pros shifting into the world. And I think it was like a shiny object syndrome, like, be a VA or a virtual support pro,
right?
And boom, everything will just magically appear.
Like, because it's the easy thing to do. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
To the club.
It's simple to start and do, but it's not easy.
But it's not easy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it did feel a little like everybody was like, oh, I'll just be a VA because they thought it was the easy thing to do. Like, no, like you said, simple to get started, but holla at me in a couple of months and see
Yeah.
how that's working for you. If you thought it
Right.
was going to be an easy, an
I
easy
know.
thing to just do. Like, yeah. And we joke all the time when we see the comments online and we're just like in our own little world, like cracking up, like, did you like really?
We saw the same
So,
thing. Yeah. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
yes. So, what do you love most about your business?
What I love about my business, so you all know this, and you guys already probably did for the month of January, is what your word for the year is,
Mm,
right? And
yeah.
every single year, yes, I will choose a word for that year, but it always includes impact. And when I first started my business and the struggle that I had to go through, during that time too, people were only just starting to, not even the first year, maybe second year or third year in, that's when people start talking about authenticity and transparency, right? And honestly, in my first year of business, I was like digging into the end of the other earth to like find answers that people weren't willing to share. Um, and so, or even give me a chance, whether that be just another, VA or BM or a client. And so what I wanted to do was not only create an impact for clients and helping build their business, and also an impact for myself and my family, but also an impact for me to hire a team where I would give them the opportunity to learn and grow as well. And you understand this, being as a mama, like, why not leave your 9 to 5 job and spend more time with your family? It's so funny. I actually had a conversation the other day. I was networking, and the conversation came up how I was ahead of the game, knowing that how valuable time freedom, not only financial freedom, but time freedom
Freedom.
and the importance of family is to us. Like 70% of the world realized it during COVID. I realized it way before that. And so
Yeah.
that was the opportunity and the impact I wanted to give other work at home slash stay at home moms, is to have that time freedom with their kiddo, with their family, earn that extra cash to help out with their spouse if they were stay at home moms. And because time is precious, and you know this, you got grown kids.
Yes.
Like, where did the time go? My kid is 6 years old, and it's like, wow, like I started this business when he was 2.
Wow.
And I thank God every day that I was able to actually see all his milestones every single year, and I wasn't stuck at a 9 to 5 job missing out. Right.
And that's what it's about, because I love the fact that my business was established like by the time my grandson got here,
Mm-hmm.
because now I've got things in place, I've got a team in place, and so
Yes.
I get to not have to work weekends so I can enjoy my time with him. I can
Mm-hmm.
end the day at a reasonable hour so I can chill out and watch movies or play with his 1,000 cars that he thinks he has to have, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Um, and for me, like, it was so important to build a business that I loved and that worked for me because of health reasons. Like you said, a lot of these ahas came for people later, but for me, it was literally like, I still want to do what I love, but I don't want to do it to the detriment of my health,
Yes.
right? So I
Mm-hmm.
had to take care of myself. And so I love that you did that for your family. So, if you're out there, like you're a mom and you're thinking that you can't do it, let Rachel
You
be a
can.
prime example that you can do it.
Mhm.
Not only can you build a business, but you can build a business that you love, and you can build a business that will be thriving, which
Yes.
is amazing. So, what would you say to that stay at home mom or the entrepreneur who's like really struggling to build a business they love? What tips would you give them?
So if you're struggling in your business, one, don't give up. It is growing pains, right? And you kind of have to have hope and faith at the same time too. Everything happens for a reason at its own time, right? So
Yeah.
I always say, and my husband and I always talk about this, like, you just, because I've recently had, entrepreneur struggles for the past month that, Gwendolyn's aware of. And, it's more like, okay, there were signs that it's like, okay, Rachel, you need to sit down and be quiet and focus. Or Rachel, you need to sit down and give your body a rest because 2020 was a crazy year. All you did was just hustle and grind it out. And um, December, which Gwendolyn knows about this story, I was ready. My whole team and HQ was closed. I gave my whole team 2 weeks vacation. They totally earned it. Everyone earns it. And I said to myself, great, no clients, no team to catch my attention. I'm going to create all the processes and systems and revamp and do my 2021 goals and vision boards. The very first Monday, the very first Monday that we were on vacation, I got sick. So sick. I was sick for the whole vacation time that we were off. And I threw myself a pity party, but I realized that was the universe, God, telling me to sit my butt down. And I realized I gained clarity and more focus. So with all the distractions of doing the laundry and cooking and playing with the kiddo, me staying basically quarantined in my room, even though it wasn't COVID, is giving me the headspace to realize like, oh, like, what do I do now? I'm so sad about this. Okay, wait, like, what is my focus? What do I want to achieve now, right? Without all the distractions and all the conversations that were happening around me. And so do note that things do happen for a reason. Always learn, be a student forever, right? With our ever-changing world and changes to entrepreneurship and changes to tools that we even use in our business right now, that may change 3 months from now. And third is to network, reach out to those people. And I mean, genuinely, not be salesy.
Don't be sliding these DMs with all this foolishness. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like, and not just for
don't clients. Do that.
I'm talking about other virtual support pros as well. Like network with them, not just network for clients, network with people in your industry, right? So a prime example, Gwendolyn and I, we're basically in the exact same industry, offer the same type of services, but she may run into a potential client that like, oh, no, totally not vibing it. However, you're probably aligned with Rachel's personality more. So let me throw you off to her and vice versa, right?
Yes.
And there could be other services she currently offers, like her and I offer admin and operations, but she could be offering Facebook ads and I don't. So I will move the client over to her side, right? So you want that network of people and partnership with them, so you can grow that way as well. And the best that you can do too is, again, just be authentic. I know everyone regurgitates the same BS stuff sometimes. But once you implement, you will realize it's in repetition by many people for a reason, and that's because it works, right? So really truly be yourself when you're reaching out to potential clients, as well as networking with other virtual support pros. And I guarantee that friendship, that relationship that you build with them is going to be much stronger and will help you move forward with your business.
100%, hands down, agree. Rachel, thank you for sharing today, and thank you
Happy to
for coming
be here
on the show. When I was like, oh, we should do this together. So I so appreciate you. Love your spirits. Just all the things. So beautiful people, thank you so much for joining us. It is possible to build a business that you love. And so if you have an idea that can solve a problem, that can serve someone, then absolutely 100% go for it. I would love it if you would hit like, hit love, hit share with anybody that you think can enjoy this or needs to hear these takeaways that Rachel just shared with us. If you have any questions or tips, experiences, drop them in the comments. We love engaging with you. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Your Admin Expert, and subscribe to the email list on my website, yourvirtualadminexpert.com, for more tips, tools, and strategies. Rachel, tell the beautiful people how they can connect with you.
Yes, so you can check out my website at theexecutiveninja.com. You can also find me on Instagram, which is my favorite platform to be on to engage and network with other individuals. So you can find me on the agency side of things, the Executive Ninja Agency, or the personal side, mentorship, behind the scenes of my personal life type of things, under Rachel Everington. And yeah, and then I hope to get to know you guys in Gwendolyn's community and network with you and also build friendships with you. So if you guys have any questions with regards to any of the topics that we talked about here, yes, please feel free to reach out, then I can give you guys a little bit more clarity and guidance if I can.
Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next week for another segment of